In our last episode, we made a series of hops south and ended up in La Paz. This time around, we tackle our broken Watermaker, catch up with some good friends, and even sink a few putts. We just rode the tail end of a big weather system that was blowing down the Sea of Cortez for the last few days, and we made it to La Paz. Since we've been pinned down and cooped up on this boat, we're getting off, we're going to roam around and have some fun. We hadn't actually planned on coming back to La Paz since we were here twice last season, but since our Watermaker's broken and this town has what we need to fix it, here we are. And of course, roaming through town and having some fun, well, that means tacos. Coming at you. Made it to La Paz yesterday afternoon and got some tacos first thing. And then this morning we found this, a needle valve for the Watermaker. So today is Fix the Watermaker Day. So the problem we have right now is that we can't actually turn up the pressure in the system enough to make water. The system pressure, or the operating pressure of this Watermaker is 800 psi, and at 800 psi here in the Sea of Cortez we're making 32 gallons an hour roughly. But right now we're only able to turn it up to about 450 psi, and that doesn't come close to even making water. So a couple of weeks ago when we were farther north in the Sea of Cortez up in San Carlos, I did take apart the control panel and took apart the needle valve, and there was some wear on the needles. So that's kind of what I'm thinking the problem is. We're going to start with that and hopefully it fixes it. The control panel here lives underneath the floor in the bilge because that's the only place we've got room for it. So the Watermaker control panel lives underneath the floor in the bilge, right next to Brenda's beer stash. There it is, the control panel. And there's Brenda's beer stash. And the needle valve right there, that's what's busted. And to get to that needle valve, well, you guessed it, everything's got to be taken apart. This isn't a off-the-shelf name brand Watermaker. It's something I put together maybe 5-6 years ago actually. And basically the entire time we've been cruising, it supplied all of our water. But now it doesn't work, and it needs to work. So I built this Watermaker for a few reasons. First of all is because I'm a cheapskate and I wanted to save a few bucks. But more than that, I like to tinker. And I like to know how stuff works. If we're gonna be sailing across the Pacific or around the world or whatever, I want to know how stuff works so I can fix it. Because everything seems to break eventually. For this Watermaker, I wanted to be able to fix it anywhere in the world with basic off-the-shelf parts. There's no proprietary stuff. I don't need any special anything. So anyways, this Watermaker, it's all off-the-shelf parts that you can find on the internet or in most hardware stores or marine shops. It's basic stuff. Once the plumbing's unhooked and removed, it's a pretty easy out with the old and in with the new. Once it's put back together, it's just a matter of firing up the generator and giving it a shot. All right, it's all back together. It's the moment of truth. Nothing. Gotta turn on the breaker. But unfortunately, well, that didn't quite do the trick. So, it's off to the V-berth we go. Needle valve didn't exactly fix everything. It helped, but it still can't turn up the pressure enough to make water. So this Watermaker is actually broken up into a few sections on the boat. The control panel lives underneath the floor in the bilge, but the membranes and the high pressure pump lives underneath the bed in the V-berth. So all this stuff's got to come out of the V-berth, and then I can get in there and see if it's something else. My guess is it's probably the pressure relief valve. We'll see. Once everything's removed, it's into the hole we go. Okay, this is Watermaker repair round 2. The needle valve didn't quite fix everything, so there's still another problem. This guy, it's a pressure relief valve. It normally lives right here on the pump, and it's worn out too. So, into La Paz we went. After searching our way through the city streets, we finally made it to this place. They got what we need. It's a miracle. Thanks.
You bet.
You're the best.
There we go.
Save the day. La Paz has everything you need. So, went to town, got a new one. This one's stainless steel. With pretty high hopes, I put everything back together and then fired it up. And even though we were making water again, it wasn't all good news. Got good news and bad news. Watermaker works, but this little guy, it leaks right out of here. So I took it all apart, and today this is going back. Luckily they got a bunch of these sitting on the shelf, so we get a new one, and then it'll be round 3 of Watermaker put back together. So, with our little folding bikes, we raced over and swapped it for a new one. Round 3, here we go. Got a new one, hopefully it doesn't leak. So, we put it all back together again, fired it up, and what do you know, this one leaked too. So we was back on the bikes, and then back in the hole for round 4. And what do you know? Well, the 4th time was a charm. Good news, Watermaker works. We just ran it for a couple of hours, and now we've got water again. We were almost out of water, but now we got water. So the 2 problems, one was the needle valve, this guy right here. The other was the pressure relief valve. We carry tons of spare parts on this boat, and Watermaker parts included. We can rebuild pumps, we've got filters. But what we didn't bring are either of these 2 things. I never thought either of these would ever go out. But apparently, according to the Watermaker guy here in town, the Sea of Cortez has some of the highest salinity of any place in the world as far as cruising grounds. And because of that, that high pressure, high salinity water going through these little parts abrades them and wears them out. So if you're going cruising and just happen to be coming to the Sea of Cortez with a Watermaker, these couple of bad boys wouldn't be a bad idea to bring with you. So 5 or 6 years ago, when I put this Watermaker together, I looked for a pressure relief valve in stainless steel, but I couldn't find one. So brass is what I used, and I assumed it would last a long time, which I guess 5 or 6 years is a long time. We made thousands of gallons of water with it. I guess that's a pretty good run, but it just didn't last forever. So the new one's stainless steel, and hopefully that'll do the trick. So the other good news, not only is the Watermaker working, but some of our good friends are in town. So we're gonna go see them. Look what we found! It's Chris and Sarah in Mexico. Get over here.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Hello. You look like no human.
Look, it's Alex. Get over here.
These are churros.
We're getting tacos. Are you excited?
Yeah.
How excited?
Like
On a
10
1 to
out
10.
of 10.
10 out of 10. That's it.
Oh.
10. I feel like I maybe should have pre-big.
Tacos.
My tortillas are falling apart.
After stuffing our face with the best fish tacos in town, we of course gotta roam around and find the best dessert. We got churros!
Yes.
Gotta do the churro dance.
Come on,
1 year
Alexis.
later.
I know.
Still churro dance.
We're going golfing! As you might guess, not a lot of golf gets played on our little floating home. And because of that, I'm not going to tell you how many balls we lost. This is Jack. He's kicking our butts.
You know, I generally charge for this.
Nice.
He is seriously kicking our butt. You're up.
I hope you got that.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And no matter how hard we tried, those little balls just didn't seem to want to go in their little hole.
Game.
Jack, excellent. Bro,
play lucky.
trash talk from Mom.